Hello, DevOps people. How are you? I hope you're fine. I am. Spring has finally reached Ireland, and the weather outside is sunny, the sky is blue, and I'm in a pretty good mood. So let's get something done. I still have the pretzel blog open here because I had to debug a few things regarding music, and I think I don't have the uh, music on the stream at the moment. So let's see if I can add that. Okay, still no audio here. Let me see. Oh yeah. Here we go. All right. So let's get started. I have been working on a few things lately, and in my last session, I actually did try to roll out our DNS setup on which worked. I've been working for quite a few sessions. However, I didn't succeed, and after a bit of investigation, I found out that the DNS cookbook I built does work with a current version of Chef, but will not work with Chef 12. However, for historical reasons, basically technical debt, we still run Chef 12 in our infrastructure. So the current cookbook will not work on our infrastructure. And luckily, we have started an internal project where we are going to upgrade all our Chef clients to a more current version, and that will then enable me to roll out the cookbook. So that's been put on the back burner for now. During my work on the DNS cookbooks, namely the NSDX cookbook that manages the NSD DNS server, I noticed that I should do some work on the way I'm open sourcing this cookbook. Just to illustrate the issue, let's. Oh, I'm not even logged in. Here we go. So let's open a new window here. The thing is, we decided a while ago to put all our cookbooks into a single Git repository in order to have a common approach to all our cookbooks. With approach, I mean things like testing, things like tooling. We didn't want to duplicate testing setups, configuration files, Rubocop style guides and stuff. We wanted to have that at a central location, and that's why we decided to put all our cookbooks into a monolithic repository. And I think it has worked quite well so far. However, with the NSDX cookbook here, we decided to make this open source. To be precise, we based NSDX on an open sourced cookbook, on the NSD cookbook. It made sense to then open source our changes as well. Since for many reasons we can't just open our monolithic cookbook repository, there is a separate Git repository for the NSDX cookbook alone. And actually I exported the state of the NSDX cookbook once. So that's what you'll find when you go to GitHub and go to github.com/frysteel/chef NSDX, I think. Nope. Let me see where it's actually at. NSDX. It's NSDX-cookbook. When I try to debug the rollout problems in my last session, I made a few changes to the NSDX cookbook, namely this branch here, 229, which deals with the data bag. Let me see what changes I actually did. Oh yeah, I added a second data bag for the integration tests. And then I realized, okay, now I'll have to export this new revision of the cookbook once more and once more and once more. Hey Slayer, how you doing? Beware the monolith. Yeah, sometimes the monolith isn't as dangerous as it sometimes is. If it's black, yeah, it's you should beware. But in this case, I think we are pretty happy with the monolithic approach to a repository. Even though it's a common practice in the chef world to put each and every cookbook in its own Git repository, we basically followed the thinking of companies like Google do it, who put all their source code into a single repository. I have no idea how the monolithic code repository at Google looks like. It must be humongous. I'm not saying in any way that we are comparable to Google, but we had a bit of the same reasons that led us to a monolithic repository. Circling back, what I don't want to do is have to manually export all the changes in NSDX to the public repository by hand. And that's what I'd like to automate today. I'd like to have an automation that automatically exports new revisions of the NSDX cookbook, and I just had an additional idea of also uploading the cookbook to the chef supermarket so people find it there as well. In one of my previous sessions I already have dealt with Travis CI, and I'd like to integrate Travis CI here as well, so that Travis CI sees when we push updates to our master branch, and then I'd like it to check if the push or the commit was tagged, and if that's the case, it contains a new revision of a cookbook, and if that cookbook can be exported, it should be exported. Okay, so I guess I'll have to stash away these changes before I can start. Google's documentation for their APIs is pretty messy, I can imagine. There are, however, a lot of very good examples of public API documentation. Stripe, for example, comes to mind. Their API documentation is excellent. Okie dokie. What's in here? That's my test, how this works with Chef 12 and 13. I guess I can revert that. Otherwise, tests will not run anymore. Okay, that's that. At the same time, this is why I rarely receive tutorials. There are so many tutorials for say popular APIs that no longer work because they refer to deprecated API versions, so it's usually best to read docs and check the source code yourself. Yeah, isn't that sad? That you basically have to have documentation under general suspicion that it's outdated and that you'd rather check out the source code yourself. Well, historically, it seems documentation has never been the strong suit of software engineers, but I don't know why we haven't mastered that yet. Okay, so let's create a new issue in our Chef cookbooks repository. Automatically export open source cookbooks. Basically, that's it is a feature, and it's based around testing. Might warrant to have a tag like tooling as well, but I'll leave it at that. Okay, that's issue 231. And we'll simply use the NSDX cookbook as an example. First of all, we'll need the Travis CI integration. So far, I don't think we have a Travis integration here. No, we don't. So I'll see what we can do. TravisCI.com. and read our docs. However, I'm happy to read that you are so much more full of energy today. How's the weather in your neck of the woods? Where are you based anyway? Are you based in Ireland as well? Uh, let's see. Getting started. So it's at .travis.ci. .travis.yaml.ci. Greater London area. 25 degrees. Well, that's basically summer, isn't it? Hay fever. Oh, yeah, I feel you. I would have hay fever by now if I didn't have some kind of strange skin condition that basically requires me to take allergy medication every 3 days. The upside of that is that I don't suffer from hay fever anymore, and I can actually pick up a cat without my eyes falling out. Well, hello there, Simon. How are you doing? Okie doke. Actually, I don't want to test stuff because we are not yet ready to run continuous integration tests on our cookbooks. Actually, that's an issue we'll still have to solve. How do we run integration on a monolithic repository with lots of code? I don't want to have a single commit trigger the tests for all our cookbooks. That would just be a waste of resources. But let's start with the obvious stuff. For example, language will certainly be Ruby. We run in a Ruby environment. You stopped excelling, but of course not excelling with a double L. It still feels weird to see engineering people enjoy working with spreadsheets. But I guess that's the way it is. We don't have a build exactly, but so what can we do? I guess we'll modify the script stuff. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, I guess, script, and then I run a shell script that does what we needed to do. Okay, script. So let's do something like this. We'll run bin export cookbooks.sh. So let's go ahead and build this. And let's start with a check if we have a tagged revision. Travis will pass this in the Travis tags environment variable, something like this. Travis branch, Travis tag. So if Travis tag is not set, something like this. Why am I even outside my standard window here? Okay, so if call this, oh, we can make it executable. And then, yep. And if we say Travis tag equals mstx v 2.0, something like this, and then still not, of course not, because it's not exported. Okay, that part works. I guess we should be able to split up the tag. What's the most elegant way to split up a string in Bash? Oh yeah, okay, no, I remember. The general answer is insane. Yeah, you're right. You'd either have to do some weird variable value substitution or something like this with IFS and read. However, let's say this is still too complicated. Isn't there an easier way? Okay. Why not? I see myself changing programming language to Ruby halfway in, but until then... Yeah, string manipulation is definitely a very good page. And I am tempted to just use substitution, but if that's how it works, it's okay. So I'll simply get array 0 and array 1, don't I? Yeah. So something like this. Tag 0. Is that how it works? Oh, this is not Ruby, this is Bash. Syntax highlighting for the rescue. Okay. That wasn't too hard. I could even say -v and get rid of the v as well. Nope, that didn't work. Strange. So it has to be a single character, I guess. Or we could do some substitution here. Oops, it opened up in the wrong browser. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. How do I get rid of the V? String extraction. Substring removal. That's exactly what I need. It's the simple hash sign. String hash. So I go and just say, okay, give me tag 1 without the V. Nice. Now, for some advanced Git foo. Let me see. Git export repository. Let's see if I can find the link that I used before. Export. Is there something with git filter? Oh, there's even an article at GitHub for that. Nice. I don't have to clone the repository because it's already checked out the moment CI starts. And then, well, do I have to create a clone elsewhere? I should, I guess. Because this is a destructive operation. So I guess we could check it out elsewhere. The question is, where? Is there somewhere I can store stuff? Where does Travis CI store its stuff? And build environment overview. I guess I could simply start a build and take a look at the machine. Or I could do a search. Travis CI temporary directory or something like that. Let's see if this will help. So there's home Travis build. I guess that's where it builds. This looks like a bit of a guessing game. But why not? Again, I need a few environment variables to see which repository we are dealing with. I'd like to have this as an environment variable. Oh, there's another Travis build here. We might need that. Travis Rapo Slug. That's close. Yeah, and that's it, I guess. Oh, well, that's all right. Travis Reaper Slug. So let's see. We could use MK temp to get a temporary repository directory. Maybe I missed this due to being late on the same place. The fact that I get your voice on my left ear only, on purpose or a bug on your on my end. Oh, that's probably a misconfiguration on my side. Let me see. Better now. I have played a bit with my audio stuff. Okay, that's good. Okay, how does mktemp work again? I need to give it a template. No, I don't. So I simply do mktemp -d, right? Okay. That's that. That build directory should be a Git repository, so it should be possible to use Travis build dir. I guess so. Something like this. So it does a local clone. Then we can enter it. Hey Marcus, nice to have you here. Okay. So, if I set this as well, and say, okay, export Travis build dir projects chef cookbooks. Let's also make it stop if something goes wrong. Well, it seems to have worked. Yeah, looks good. And now it should be possible to run this git filter command. Git filter branch prune empty subdirectory filter and the folder name, which will be the subdirectory of the cookbook. Which is this here, but prefixed with source. Let's get rid of this one here. And now we should have a single cookbook. Yep. This cookbook, however, let's open up a new window here. We can close this one. Obviously it has the wrong remote entries, so we can at least remove that. It's definitely worthless. Let's remote remove. Okay. Let's clean up after ourselves. Can do that in the script, I guess. Maybe we should leave the repository first. This. And this. this. It's pretty cool. Oh, it's basically a clock, isn't it? Okay, I need RF here. Is there something you'd like to tell me about the time? Are you getting bored? Is... Ah, never mind. Okay. Just looking up command line food tricks. Yeah. So if you're playing with command line stuff, you should check out Figlet, because that will do nice things as well. I'm not sure if... Yeah, we got it installed, so you can do something like this. Figlet date plus party and get some nice output. Good, so let's see if the script works now. Clones, rewrites, and deletes. Okay. And I think if I now manage to get the correct remote set, and I'm not sure if I can, but we'll see. So we'll do... Nope, that's not it. Didn't I copy this? Get remote set URL origin. This username new repository should be the Travis build slug, or what's it called? Let's see. Travis repo slug. But I don't think it uses HTTPS. I think it uses SSH with its own. Could even tag it. Git tag the and the version. Oh, no, I can't use the Travis repo slug because that is the original cookbooks repository. And so this information needs to be, we need to get this information somewhere. this is the target repo, and that needs to be set somewhere. And I guess it makes sense that we store the target repository name in a file in each cookbook subdirectory. So we'll basically do something like this. We'll check if so the target repo file should be source cookbook export repository. If this file doesn't exist, we need to abort. And then we could simply so this should fail now. Yep. Fails pretty quickly. It's nice. And as soon as we create this, and we will use the NSDX cookbook here. Well, now it's getting destructive, and I rather do a dry run first. Still missing. Ah, of course. No, there's the... Oh, okay, we are supposed to run it from the repository root. So... from here... Of course, different path, no tag set, okay, export Travis tag. Okay, run tag nsdx. It read this. Okay, looks good, but repository does not exist. Actually, it does exist. Let's do a bit of debugging. Oh, git clone. Yeah, of course there isn't a repository, but oh, I haven't set Travis build dir as well. Okay, that's why I forgot to set this variable. Oh, why not make it a bit robust? Check this first. Okay. Export Travis build dir. Nice. No such remote origin. Okay, so I don't have to remove the origin. Simply redefine it. This looks pretty okay. I guess I'll have to... Oh, what we can do is... why not just create a test repository? New repository, test dummy, public. Okay, I've already taken the echoes out here. It actually created a branch because I'm running it from this branch. We could push it to master. I guess that's would be better. But let's simply take a look. So we are in this branch, and it actually also tagged it. So the tag wasn't lost there. This is the original tag from our repository. Interesting. But it's the single repository with yeah, that's just how it's supposed to look. 7 commits, yeah, not many so far. Okay. Oh no, that's a commit. Actually, I think that's or is it? It seems to have retained that tag. Okay, I didn't see what it tagged. So we might not even have to do this tag here, but we'll push it to origin master. So if I run this a second time, okay, we don't have a master branch on the target repository. So suppose we have one now. Well, it's basically cut a master branch from this 231 branch. Anyway, if I run this a second time, it shouldn't be a problem. That's strange. Source ref spec master does not match any, so oh, because I don't have a master branch locally here. So I might want to make sure we are on the master branch. That way it won't export my current branch, but the master branch, but for this example it doesn't matter, I guess. And everything is up to date because the master branch is behind what we have now. Okay. Let's give this another try. Oh, come on. So let's create a new test dummy. Let's see. We have a master branch, nothing else. And it's actually our V101 branch. Okay, that looks quite okay. There are a few issues that I'm aware of, because the Travis environment won't be the same as my testing development environment here. For example, Travis will not have push access to the target repository without me giving it permission. But let's take one step after another. Okay, so let's add the Travis YAML file first. And now oh, maybe we shouldn't even abort here, because we'll push many tags and they will all be checked by Travis CI. However, there's only a single cookbook so far that will be able to be exported, so if it's one of the other cookbooks, we'll simply exit here. Okay. Why is my script here not even part of the... Why is it not marked as edited? That's strange. Is the bin directory ignored? It is. Bundler seems to have added the bin directory. Well, that's not how it's supposed to work. Okay. I just realized I glossed over the main magic in this script, which is this filter branch command. And so if you didn't see, what happens is that it takes my repository and basically filters out all commits that don't affect the subdirectory that I've passed in here. So, for example, if I'm exporting the NSDX cookbook, this command will throw away in this repository copy, it will throw away all commits that don't affect src/nsdx, which means it will throw away all files and changes that are not in this subdirectory. And since I also added the prune empty argument here, this subdirectory will go to the repository root and everything else will be gone. That's why I don't run this on the original repository but on a copy. And that's exactly what I need to open source a single cookbook from our cookbook collection. Good. So far so good. Now, I guess since there's not much time left and I'd like to finish on time, let's find out how I can actually allow Travis access to a different repository. Have to look it up, I guess. Travis, GitHub access. Hey, it's cold, so let's light a fire. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for following. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the stream. When testing a private repository, you might need to pull in other private repositories. Yep, exactly. And so must use either the deploy key or user key method. If the dependency is also on GitHub, there are 4 different ways. I could use a user key, right? Or, which will give Travis access to all my repositories. Recommended for dependencies. This way a single key can access multiple repositories. To limit the list of repositories and type of access, it's recommended to create a dedicated CI user account. Yep. Okay. So what I'd have to do is create a CI user account on GitHub. Give it its... oh well, I should then use... what key? Generating a new key. Okay, I'll use the Travis command line tool to create a new key. I'll put this key... oh, it'll automatically upload the public key to GitHub. I'll create a new key. I'll add it to my user. No, I'll add it to the CI user. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's okay. So it'll have access to all the repositories this dedicated user has access to. So I can still define, okay, the Travis CI user will have access to this repository and this repository. Okay. That's pretty straightforward. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. That's the right way to do it. I'll simply create a new key, put this key on GitHub to the open source repository I'd like to maintain, and Travis will be able to access them. Okay. Well, I guess that'll be on my to-do list, either for the next session or for an earlier private session. We'll see. But that's that. Is there anything you'd like to ask? Is there anything you'd like to discuss? Is there anything completely unrelated you'd like to talk about? I still have a few minutes, so let's chat if you like. Slayer, have you found a few new command line tricks? Everything is committed and pushed. No, it's not pushed. Okay. Yes, it is actually pushed. Okay. Oh, I did it from the other window. Yeah. Okay, the main thing is done, I'd say. This will be executed if we do a this will be executed for each push we do. That's a bit much. We'll have to limit this to the master branch, and if there is a tag, actually this is not a build, it's a deployment, isn't it? So I need the script deployment. Yeah. Okay. So, no drives file. Nope. Okay. So this is deploy provider script on branch master and tags true. Provider. That way we can even remove testing for our tag, because that's here, that's a prerequisite. And now we'll have to have a script, right? Yeah, and we'll have to prefix it with bash. Okay. I'm not sure if we have to override the build part. I guess we should. run something as a dummy if I don't have anything. I don't like to do a... I don't like to have to include a dummy script that's simply for the sake of being able to call it. Let's see if we can simply do an echo. Language, script, echo, no build necessary. Okay, and we can rebase this. Okay. Well, I think that's enough for today. I'll find out how to do a push from Travis CI, and I'll see you all next week on Tuesday at the usual time. Until then, thanks for watching. If you haven't yet, please click the follow button so you get a notification the next time I'm online. And cheers!